If you're a parent of a young child, you know the word discipline can feel, well, it can feel loaded. Just so much stress and confusion, right? Today, we're going to flip that script. We're going to dive into this idea that discipline isn't about punishment at all. It's about teaching. And this idea, it changes everything. See, discipline isn't about control. It's about guidance. That single shift moves us from being, the enforcer to being the teacher. But what does that actually look like in a real, messy, the kind of moment, toddler-filled moment? Oh man, we have all been there. That sudden explosion of frustration, and suddenly a toy is flying across the room. It's one of those flashpoint moments, right? It can send any parent's stress levels through the roof. But your reaction, right here, in this split second, well, that can set your child on one of two totally different learning paths. So let's really break this down. We're going to call these scenario A and scenario B. One is the path most of us kind of default to when we're stressed. The other, it's a path of intentional teaching that can honestly change everything in the long run. Okay, first up, scenario A, what we're calling the punishment path. Now, the main goal here, and let's be honest, it's totally understandable, is just to make the behavior stop, like right now. The toy has been thrown and all you want is for it to never, ever happen again. So the action that usually follows this goal is a really swift, sharp correction. You know the one, a loud no or we do not throw things, maybe followed by an immediate consequence like a timeout. It's a reaction that's totally designed for one thing, immediate compliance. But here's the thing we have to ask. What is the lesson the child is actually learning? Well, they're learning to comply with someone bigger and louder than them. They stop because they're afraid of the consequence, not because they've learned how to handle that big, bubbling frustration that made them throw the toy in the first place. Okay, but what if there's another way? This is where we pivot to a whole new path. And I want you to think of this less as a short-term fix and more like a long-term investment in your child's emotional toolkit. Here it is. This is the fundamental shift. Path A's goal is simply to stop the behavior. But in Path B, the teaching path, the goal is so much bigger. It's to teach a skill, specifically the skill of handling frustration without having to throw things. And that changes our actions too. So instead of reacting with that immediate sharp correction, we respond with calm connection. We try to see the big feeling that's hiding underneath the behavior and offer guidance. It's a huge shift from being a judge to being more of a coach. And this right here, this is the most crucial point. The child's lesson goes from I stop because I have to hey, I can learn to manage my feelings. See the difference? We're not just building a compliant child, we're helping build a capable human being who can regulate their own emotions for the rest of their life. So why does this work so well? I mean, it's not just some nice, fluffy idea. It's actually rooted in how a child's brain develops. This isn't about winning battles of will. It's about literally building a stronger, more resilient brain. This skill we keep talking about, it's called emotional regulation. And the absolute key here is that it is a skill. No child is born knowing how to handle anger or disappointment or frustration. It has to be learned and practiced and built, just like learning to walk or talk. I want you to think of your child's brain like a big open field of tall grass. Every single time they have a big emotion and you guide them through it calmly, you're basically walking a new path through that grass. The first time, you can barely see it, but the more you walk that same path together, the more worn in and defined it becomes. So here's how that brain building actually happens, step by step. Step 1, a big feeling erupts. We've all seen it. Step 2, instead of yelling, you respond with that calm guidance. Step 3, in that exact moment, a tiny new neural connection, let's call it a calm down pathway, is formed. And here's the magic. Step 4, every single time you repeat this process, that pathway gets stronger and stronger, making it easier for your child's brain to find it all on its own next time. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what do you actually say when a toy is whizzing past your head? I get it. Here is a simple, incredibly powerful 3-sentence tool you can start using literally today. All right, step 1, connect and validate the feeling. You just say something like, I see you're feeling very frustrated right now. That's it. This shows your child that you see them, and it gives a name to their big, scary emotion, which is always the first step to calming the storm. Step 2, you hold the boundary, calmly and clearly. Now notice the language here. It is not okay to throw our toys. Instead of, you are bad for throwing. You're separating the child from the behavior. You're sending the message that all feelings are okay, but not all actions are okay.
And finally, step 3, you teach and co-regulate. This isn't a command, it's an invitation. Let's take a deep breath together. You are physically modeling a calming strategy and helping their little body and brain move out of that panicked fight or flight state. You're doing it with them.
And this is so important to remember. The point of all this isn't to raise a child who is always happy and never gets upset. That's impossible. The real goal is to raise a child who, over time, develops the tools to navigate their own emotional storms. Because ultimately, in the wild sea of toddler emotions, you are their steady anchor. When you respond with calm guidance instead of just adding more chaos to the storm, you provide the security they need to learn and to grow. You teach them that even the biggest, scariest waves will eventually pass. So the next time a toy goes flying, what path will you choose to walk with them?